people.
No, the deep voice, I was acting like all those brony guys on TikTok where he's like, I'm going to play my toy Sparkle deck because she's such a good girl.
Are you guys talking about that magic shit?
Welcome back, you guys, to the Hard Part Podcast, where the hardest part is getting back in.
Getting back in.
Getting back
Yeah.
in.
Gonna slide back into first base
slide
again.
back in. As you guys will hopefully tell this time, the sound is better again.
We're back.
We're back. So the horror stories from last week's episode.
Yeah, just a little recap for
Just so you understand. So we recorded episode 10. Stupid me didn't check it until Saturday night because we had a lot of other stuff going on that week. And
I was gonna say, I don't think it was stupid quite as much. We had a lot of stuff going on, and this has been progressing quite well. We've been adding quality to it, adding cameras, adding
lighting,
technology. It was only a matter of time before something didn't work properly.
Yeah, so we went in, recorded it. I loaded all my files in, opened up the SD card where the audio usually is.
Mind you, we record on Monday that round.
Yes.
And then view the audio for the first time Friday night.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
And so I try to load the file in, and I'm sitting there for a second, and I'm like, maybe it's not on this SD card. So I look through all the other ones. I was like, no, this is definitely the SD card. Because you have to also remember, we recorded pre-release that week, too.
Yes.
So we had to do a bunch of stuff with moving files, deleting files, doing all that stuff, because we're still in this weird in-between of trying to buy more SD cards so we have them.
Storage wars.
And so it wasn't there. And I was like, all right, Tom, it happened finally. It took 10 episodes.
Yep.
But we don't have audio.
I've been talking about this since episode 1. I'm like, I'm waiting until we come in and then we just gotta re-record a whole episode. Well, we did it twice.
Yep. So we recorded what we called 10.2, which we are gonna, which I'm gonna release.
10.5.
10.5.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna release as well as kind of a bonus episode for the top tier subscribers.
Any of you not on the top tier, there's a whole other
There's
episode.
literally a whole different episode that's there.
Same level of quality, because again, the audio was deleted or was never recorded.
Oh man, and that one hurt more than the first one because
his face was so
in the
defeated.
same night
/ morning,
we were on the way here to the studio to record,
and
my tire blew. So we had to.
Luckily, it didn't blow, but
It was like right there.
Yeah, no,
it was basically gone. And
we lucked out.
So we're sitting there. It's already. We were gonna get here at like 12:30, record till 2 like we're doing today, and it was gonna be fine and dandy, and it was gonna be great.
Yeah.
3 a.m. rolls along, and we finally get here. We record. We finish at 5. We're like, this episode is really good. I'm really happy that we re-recorded the whole thing. I opened up the sound file, and it wasn't fucking there.
Twice the energy, I feel like, went into the next episode because we had all the drama with the car and so forth, and we had already done the first episode, and so it wasn't. We didn't remember all of it, so we actually ended up. Part of the reason why we're going to be covering 3 keywords this round is because we did one.
We
the
talked
first
about
episode,
them twice,
and then we did 2 completely different ones in the next episode because we forgot what we had gone over. So today we'll be going over all 3 of those in proper detail for Keyword Corner.
In proper detail, so you can actually hear it.
Yeah.
We checked the SD card. It's actually fucking working this time, so we're fine.
Yep.
Also, if you guys didn't see our free video that we posted on Patreon and on YouTube for the pre-releasing's great.
It's a great little fun video. I think I've probably watched that one like a dozen times now. The lighting adjustment is a little.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. We were standing in front of this like neon that we didn't have front light with us, so it just like caused all kinds of it trying to focus
trials
different
and
lighting.
tribulations.
But we got really good footage. It flowed together really well. You also notice the camera quality significantly different because I used my really expensive camera, the one I
Yeah.
do for photography with it.
Hopefully,
I would like to have 2 of those.
yeah, I was
for
gonna say
this.
if we could get together 2 of those, then we could have a nice.
Yeah, because then the zoom
high-quality
lens
video.
will keep the same view. It's just, they're so nice.
Yeah.
But it's a great video. It turned out really well. We got a lot of good footage. We got some stuff for the giveaway. We got everything, and it was a lot of fun.
It's like 6 minutes long.
Yeah,
just
it's
fun
like
little
6 minutes.
upbeat.
And there's a lot of new camera tricks that I learned during it that are going to be available in this episode.
Finally, it was supposed
I
to
know.
be in last.
It was supposed to be in last, but I was like, I'm already pissed at this. We're really mad. We lost an SD card.
It was done. It was produced. I was actually just finishing up the last viewing of it. Your audio on like the last third is like half a second off, but mine is fine for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that too,
That was
but I
so
was just
weird.
like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's because you got to remember too, we recorded it and then we had to edit it by Monday.
Yeah, this was all after.
So it's 5 a.m. in the morning on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the car shit happened, and then we did that, edited the podcast, and then uploaded it, and I went, I'm going to fucking bed.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was a
to say the
lot for a
least.
couple days, but it was worth it, because now we get to have you guys have this. So.
Yeah, we're back here. We're back. We're rolling again.
Yep. Update for the giveaway as well, just so you guys can see it.
It's getting spicy.
It's getting spicy. So, obviously, last time that you guys saw, we showed you guys the card sleeves, which are the Moogle card sleeves, which are pretty cool. Those are the ones that I used during the pre-release, and I really liked them. They got a cool little matte finish to the front of them, which is interesting. They're Ultra Pros.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, who are these? Ultra Pro?
Yep. Then, today, I picked up, it is a Ultra Pro play mat with Cloud. So it's the Cloud one. Which, by the way, these packagings, I looked into it. This is the smartest packaging they could have ever done.
Oh, yeah?
Because they don't change all of the sides of it every time a new set comes out. They just
changed
put a
the
different
little
sticker.
Mm-hmm.
This is the smartest packaging
That's
ever.
pretty genius. Not only
Super
that, but
smart.
it seems like it's fairly durable. Like,
It's very
maybe not
durable.
super durable, but like,
It's got that nice, like, matte kind of finish feel to it, which is nice.
yeah.
And then, the biggest part of the giveaway.
This took some getting, too.
We talked to our local shop, so Maniac Collectibles in the main mall.
Thanks again, guys.
They held this aside for us because they knew we wanted to do a giveaway. So despite all the clawing and stuff, they were like, you know what, we got this for you guys because we know you want to give it away. We know this is a really important piece. And I was like, thank you, because we already promised it.
Yeah. Yeah, that... And
we were going to spend way more if we had to still get it anyway. Like,
anybody who doesn't know, the Final Fantasy... I almost said the Fast and the Furious product. The Final Fantasy product that's in the market right now is all we're getting until Q4.
Yep.
So
So once it's sold out, it's gone.
Even then, there's no... Obviously, that's not got a Chocobo in it, but the
collector's packs.
collector's packs and so forth, the serialized ones, that's a one and done. They won't... The stuff that we get in the fall won't have an option or an opportunity to get that in it.
Yep.
So get what you're getting now. Maybe try not to overspend for it, but at the same time, like this is a limited supply product right now.
So, as we were talking about, it is a sealed Wizards of the Coast packaging of the play boosters for Final Fantasy. This can be yours. You know, those of you who are at the $5 tier, this might be worth upgrading to the 20 because $20 for a $200 box is pretty sweet to me.
Yep. Not only that, but if you haven't yet, get us some command towers.
Send
as
us a
fast
command
as
tower.
Possible. Again, the bar is low on that one. Really, like if you want to just write command tower on an island and send it to us, I would take that. I'd appreciate if you drew a little tower on it somewhere, even in pen or
Yeah,
whatnot.
because I want to be able to use it.
Yeah.
Like, I need at least... The thing is, we're going to collect it on a wall, right? We're going to make a nice little wall of command towers. However, I still need some to use because I just moved my command tower from my mirror deck to my samurai deck because now I'm getting my samurai deck CEDH, and it is ridiculous now.
Oh,
with the
it's
changes,
so...
I added the new Final Fantasy items to it, and there's definitely some that if they don't hit Game Changer, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like Gilgamesh,
Gilgamesh is insane.
it's really, really good.
Absolutely ridiculous.
And so, and we played it, and I had 3 mana and beat 2 opponents with it.
Yep. After being stomped all
Yeah,
game,
the
like
whole
I
game.
was, he had like plowed through the both of us the
Yep.
first match, and so and I had gotten mana screwed. So the second round, I'm playing Tiny Bones. I'm stealing all of his stuff in his hand. I'm pinging. I think I had you up to like
I was
9.
At 9. I was at
commander
9 commander
damage
damage, and I was down
from-
to 8 health.
from Tiny Bones.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Yep. I was
9 attacks from Tiny Bones, and he's got 3 lands. And I thought about being nice to him,
no.
but then, out of nowhere, was not nice to him,
Yep.
and swung up. What was your
So I had lightning.
right?
No, it wasn't lightning. It was the trample one. It was the trample person, the 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
I had that equipped with Buster Sword.
Mm-hmm.
I had it equipped with Genji Glove for double strike.
Genji glove.
Genji
that's
Glove,
what it was.
which is double strike, and you get an additional combat phase if this is the first combat phase of the turn.
Mhm.
So if you have Ishin out, you get 3 combats that turn because it doubles the second trigger.
Now, I had played pretty fast and loose, to be fair, so I was at 8 at this point, because,
Yep.
again, I was really just trying to drive home, that good old commander spirit where it's like, you killed me in the last game. I'm going to destroy you at my own detriment.
Yep.
Well, it was to the detriment of the pod, apparently.
Yeah, considering Rai was really close to winning. Like,
Yeah.
I had to win that turn or I wasn't winning.
Correct.
And
Dogmeat don't play?
he doesn't, nope. I Gilgameshed into a top draw into the equipment I needed, equipped, and then had 4 combats.
Which is more than enough for a single player to take out a pod.
Yeah, especially when
Double
both people are
strike
tapped
and-
out with double strike and trample, and it was just insane.
Gotten
It was a lot.
absolutely nuts. I wonder if Gilgamesh isn't actually the real problem.
I think Gilgamesh is the fact that
7 dropped or 6?
he is a 6 drop.
6 dropped.
So
6 is where the power
It's
lies
4
on
and 2
this.
red. Gilgamesh's power and toughness don't matter. The part about him that matters is the fact that when he enters the battlefield, you look at the top 6 cards of your library. You take any equipment cards from them, put them onto the battlefield, and if you own a samurai, equip one of them immediately, no matter the cost.
Which he is
He
a
is.
samurai.
He is a samurai.
So why would you not? Why would they even put that on there? Just
Yep.
just put it on there. Just do it.
Now, if you're keeping track, when I said Ishin doubles the effects of all permanents, you now tutor 12 from the top and put 2 onto somebody. So it's
Yeah.
just that itself is a game winner.
It gets out of control fast.
And now I found more cards too that are, I think I'm going to add. There's Back to the Fight from the Final Fantasy set as well,
Mhm.
which is 2 and 1 black, and you take a creature from your graveyard and put it onto the battlefield.
Hmm.
So I was like, I might add that because Ishin is also black, and I might be able to do that. And and that would give me an additional chance of I could pull this back out from the woodwork.
Swing
Yeah.
for the hills. Yeah,
Exactly.
Out of
So-
nowhere at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
somebody's got an answer this turn, sure.
or they
But
kill
do you have one next
or they
turn?
kill Gilgamesh, and I just recast him from the graveyard at that point because it's not when you cast it; it's when it enters the battlefield.
That's crazy.
So you can put him out for free from for 3 from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Which also, by the way, he costs 6, so it immediately is better value.
Yep.
So
Now you have the one round to take care of stuff,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yep.
So
So it's good. There's a couple different ways that I can move things around now. So
nuts is
yeah.
what it is. It's getting highly competitive.
Yep, and it's going to be definitely ready when we go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
I'm looking forward to see what it does, especially with the alternate art slash who's the technical commander now?
It's Lightning.
Lightning.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they did a special. So through the ages on the bonus sheet, they did a Lightning as Ishin, which the artwork is beautiful. They could have taken the boldface of the text down like a single point because it seems a little thick.
Yeah, I think that was all of them like that, though. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. However, it is
an aesthetic choice.
Such a good artwork, though.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful art.
I don't think they had it commissioned, did they?
No.
This is all existing artwork.
Yeah.
Of...
Well, it's the same thing as what they did last time with the SpongeBob Secret Lair, where the artist redrew the things because they can't just take the IP and take the screenshots and throw it on the card because the way the formatting and the sizes, it'll be weird.
Yeah.
So the artist had to redraw every single thing from these scenes in Final Fantasy to throw them onto the cards.
I mean, I'm sure they were compensated handsomely.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
But, like...
If you gave me $3 million a picture to draw a picture, I'd draw a nice picture.
I draw like shit, and I would draw a good picture for $3 million. I wouldn't even care.
Damn, look at that. Look at that island with the smiley face on it.
Yeah. Look at that island that Birds of Paradise was created from because we decided that the birds were bringing too much attention, so we made it our own card. Also a weird thing.
What a strange fact from back in the day, man.
Yep.
That's wild.
I know, right? Like the fact that one of the most iconic green cards that also got a serialized version of it has been reprinted tons of times, and each print isn't cheap either. Like they're all at least $10.
Oh, it's highly playable. Like that is mana fixing.
It's a one cost bird that you tap it for 1 green mana.
Not just ramp, it's fixing. I mean, it's crazy.
It's very, very good.
I just go back to like the artist, like Jesper Moss. I
believe so. I think that was the first one. Yeah.
But anyhow, how funny would that be? Like he you make this beautiful painting the way that they said to do it, and then you threw some nifty little birds on there, and then you take it into like, okay, here you go, here's that thing you were looking for, and they're like, ugh, there's a bird on it.
It's a bird on it. Yeah,
doesn't that look cool?
Mark Poole. Yep, Mark Poole.
Oh, it was Poole who did it.
Poole was the very first Birds of Paradise artwork, and then it stayed Mark Poole all the way up until we got Edward P. Beard Jr., who gave us the 7th edition promo star Birds of Paradise, which did not look significantly as good.
Yeah, I was going to say
and that artwork stayed for the 7th edition, and then we got a different Birds of Paradise, which was kind of, I guess.
Kind of reminds me of when they did the... what was it, 7th edition, where they updated the Sarah Angel and everything?
Yes, when they made it a rare instead of a...
And everybody, hated it.
Flipped their shit.
Yeah, because it was this beautiful, iconic art, and then they just, clad some girl in armor and threw some wings behind her, and they're like, this is Sarah Angel.
And it stayed like that forever, too.
Yeah.
It never changed. One of my favorite artworks of Birds of Paradise is from Marcelo Vignali from the Ravnica one.
The Ravnica one's
that's
really
the one I
nice.
have in my deck, except I have the M10 version of it because they kept it all the way through M10, M11, M12, and that was the staple one. Then they reprinted it 2 more times, and I want this Secret Lair really bad because it's the Monty Python one, and they printed 2 Birds of Paradise. One was an African swallow, and one was a European swallow.
Which variant?
And they're carrying the coconuts.
That's hilarious.
So, and then they did the special...
That's preposterous. Oh, yeah, the children's ones?
Yep, which then they made into an actual artwork as well afterwards, so they did both. And then they brought back the original Mark Poole one.
Classic.
As a promo. They changed another one up again in a promo. And then my second favorite art came out. It was this one. That one's super cool. It's vibrant. And then almost a slap to the face to Mark Poole, honestly.
Ooh,
The serialized one is not Mark Poole.
that's rough.
It's the Ravnica one. Which, yes,
there's a
it's-
layer of grandeur to that one.
The thing is, though, the Birds of Paradise, that's a herring.
Yeah, but again, it is a Birds of Paradise. The
Yeah.
technical Birds of Paradise in the real realm is a flower.
Yeah. And
So-
then in Bloomborough, they printed Birds of Paradise again.
Oh,
Which
convenient.
that one's
yeah,
pretty good.
That tracks.
That one's a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun little like critters where I'll hear that they've like reprinted it there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that that's a lizard, or oh yeah, I forgot that's an owl.
But the cheapest,
Strix, Baleful Strix.
yes, that was a beautiful rework
Right,
art for
right.
that set. The cheapest one you can buy for Birds of Paradise
Mm-hmm.
is
$5.
if you do the legal ones, not like the World Championship ones, the gold border ones, those are like $3, but I don't count those. 4 and white border was $7.
Okay,
But the rest of them,
just grow.
the 7th edition foil, the one where I said they first redid the art,
Mhm.
goes for $1,200 in
Holy
foil.
shit!
Because you got to remember too, 7th edition foils were hard to get.
That
Foils weren't
shit ass.
1.4.
That's rough,
Yep.
man. 7th edition, you say, huh?
Yep.
Might not be a bad idea to.
Which then they made the 8th edition foil, which is only $219.
Yeah, 8th edition.
That's when foil started to come out a lot more. And
8th edition ruffled a lot of feathers.
do you guys get it? Because it's a bird joke.
Got these all night. So the 8th edition hit, and that's
Yep.
when they changed up the card frame. That's when we got the full modern card
Yes.
frame.
Yep.
And that was the first big scary time for, like, at least for me, in like the timeline of Magic, when people started going, oh, this will kill Magic the Gathering. I remember when Netrunner did this, they changed their card, frames and whatnot, and that immediately killed the game. And I'm like,
Which is so funny because there's
Shit.
other things they did with borderings and stuff too, right? That now have come back in sets as retro border versions,
Yeah.
and people love them now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
now-
fuck off.
now
Like,
some of the most ridiculous, like, I really like the Future Sight
Future Sight is
treatment.
yeah.
It-
That's the one with the weird side
Yeah.
profile, right?
It's not Magic. It
No.
reminds me more of like a game like setup that you would have with like Pokemon, or like if they made a
Yeah.
game out of fucking
Sacromite mirror, the one mirror in my deck that has
Yeah.
that, is that I chose that artwork on purpose because it's super cool because it's different,
right, very different.
and like it's weird for a set that was trying to base Magic around that. They didn't print that many of that border still. Here's a hot take.
Hot take.
We haven't done a hot take in a minute.
I know.
All right, so this is going to be the hot take. I don't like the Amonkhet special borders.
How come Sean's hot takes are always like, I don't like it.
No, okay, because that's a hot take. All right. So here's the thing, though, right? Kaladesh Inventions set kind of like the precedent when it first came out of what these specialty borders are going to be.
Right.
And they still are, some of them, like the Soul Ring, are still $600 because the artwork's fantastic.
Right.
Then Amonkhet came out, and they're like, hey, do you like to read your cards?
Well,
'Cause
guess what?
Guess what?
Because they're in hieroglyphic-ish type font.
That's the thing, is they could have at least done all hieroglyphic, which would have made more sense.
That would have been sick.
That would have made way more sense than this weird half hybrid, like,
So
you know what I mean?
I agree, and I don't.
It's no different than playing a Japanese card at that point.
No, and that's true. But we're also talking about technically the second time that they had done it.
Yeah.
Because again, even in Future Sight had the Future Sight cards, which was their bonus sheet. So each one of those had something, and outside of that, I don't think they really messed with that again until.
Yeah, because there's a couple of big points in history that happened. We have when Zendikar came out, we got the full art lands,
Right.
including the full art dual lands. The one I'm still chasing is the Canopy Vista. That is
Mhm.
still on my hit list, is to own a Canopy Vista from that someday.
Nice.
Because remember, those were, because they did the full art, but then they also did those special borders from Zendikar.
The Expeditions?
Yes.
Those are so
And
cool.
Expeditions was a separate bonus sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kaladesh did theirs,
Mhm.
and then Amonkhet did theirs, and now...
So, again, I think they were just kind of messing with that design space, and that may have been a reserved... Because up until then, they had gotten a lot of kickback on doing the textless cards.
Yes.
Which
Which they still print some of them. Like Averson's Pilgrim
Yeah.
is one of the promos we're getting for going to Atlanta, and that's full
There's
art,
a market-
borderless, no words on it.
There's a market for it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as they're stepping into that, I think that was probably a thing where, or at least I hope it was, where they were like, hey, maybe we could do this in hieroglyphics. And then somebody was like, that's people are not going to like that. They're not going to want to not be able to read their cards.
So instead, we're still going to make it so they
Yeah,
can't read
and
their cards.
is there something you could do to make it look kind of in between that? And they're like, yeah, sure, we can figure something
Could you
out.
basically put it in Comic Sans sideways? Which they also did a secret layer of those.
True.
Those ones, I remember reading the Doomblade because it was the first one I saw from the Comic Sans, and went, motherfucker, this is in Comic Sans.
You know what really is silly about that is the fact that Wizards of the Coast has their own font.
Yep, and they still decided to use Comic Sans.
Ballarin, they have access to Ballarin at least. I think they have another one, which is the
Yep.
old one that they used to use.
Yep. It's
but
like World of
yeah.
Warcraft owns the typeface is called Morpheus.
Okay,
That's the name of the typeface on that.
go figure.
So I have a degree in graphic design. The first week of graphic design school, they look at you and they say, if you use Comic Sans anytime during your degree, you will fail that class. It is one of the most hated fonts ever created. Because people think, oh, this is cute and quirky, and it makes it look terrible.
It does.
So
I agree.
then they put it on a fucking Magic card, and didn't just put it on the Magic card. They alternated between caps and uncaps on every single card. Do you not notice that?
No, I suppose I haven't really seen those.
Let me pull it up.
I saw.
It's gonna be right here, so
I
you guys
saw
can
a
see
thing on them, but yeah, no,
Yeah, it was-
I hadn't really. I've not
God.
seen them in the print, so to speak.
It was Doomblade. Doomblade. They also made that special Japanese one in Strixhaven that I like.
But I don't really care for when they do the cap switch up, anyways.
It is
Yeah,
so
that's about as legible as
horrid, dude. It is.
the ones from Amonkhet.
It is so
perhaps more legible.
bad.
Yeah.
And it's a really silly. Yeah, that goes for $2, which is like. And then the list did a full art version of Doomblade, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic.
That's a sick art.
And
too.
then the Strixhaven special bonus sheet, Japanese one, also beautiful.
Mm.
But, like, we got Comic Sans on a card, and they did it seriously.
I
Not as a,
mean-
like, somebody looked at that and went, hey, guys, you know what's a really good idea? Comic Sans. And then everybody in the boardroom stood up and clapped for him. It was like, you know what? And we don't even have to pay for that font because it's free through Microsoft.
I think that you're highly overestimating the game if you think there's more than two people in that room deciding on what to print.
Sorry,
for
there was
Secret
15
Lairs.
people in that room who
No,
all
no.
collectively decided Comic Sans was a good idea.
Well, no. If they've got a group of people that are deciding it, there are 3 people in the room that like. I would assume they don't veto anything with some of the garbage that we get out, but then they've got a room of interns, and they're just like, make us Secret Lair sets, as many and as varied as you can.
Do you think
and we're just
Richard?
going to print all of them?
Do you think Richard Garfield sat in that room and also hit the approve stamp on that, or do you think he was blindsided by it and was like, I feel like he's
I
sitting
would
at his house,
care-
got a package one day from Secret Lair because he obviously gets all the cards. There's no way he doesn't. So he probably opens it up and he's like, "Oh, I'm excited to see this new Secret Lair that I've been hearing about." And he fucking flips it over, and Comic Sans at his face.
He's
And,
fairly disconnected from the game.
Could
for
you
quite
imagine?
Some time.
like,
Oh, he would probably laugh his ass off at the Comic Sans.
yeah,
stuff.
and then go, "Ha ha, money."
No. So Unfortunately, like I would assume that he probably gets some residuals off of it.
Duh, he created the fucking game.
But yeah, no, Richard Garfield is a game designer first and foremost.
Yep.
I mean, he was already trying to sell and make other games before Magic even became popular.
Dude, his name is literally on everything still.
It is.
Every single pack.
So again, I would hope the residuals are there, but unless somebody is just holding them for him,
Yep.
he doesn't get every card. He didn't know about Universes Beyond. Like, I think that he did a thing with the professor just a couple of months ago, and the professor had to explain to him what Universes Beyond was.
So let's go to Keyword Corner.
Keyword Corner.
I already have an idea in my brain, in my mind palace for what I want the animation to be.
Oh, yes.
What I want to do is I want to make a corner, right? Like an actual corner of a room.
Right.
And I want it to have all the keywords on the side. And then what I want it to do is I want the door to open so it like flashes light on the corner. And then the keyword we're going to talk about that week comes out of the corner.
Oh, that's a different animation every time.
Yeah, which I think is cool because
it's not uncool, but production-wise, you want to redo the animation every time?
it's very simple. You have a baseline animation and you put all of the words in there. And then
Right.
what you do is you remember how I showed you the moving trick with
Yeah.
the stuff? You just move that word that week. And then what you do is you go back to the original source file and then you just move the next one the next week.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be cool to like kind of like pull it out of the corner.
When's the
and then-
last time that you've seen all the keywords in Magic the Gathering listed? Because we're going to need a big fucking corner.
We'll get back to that idea.
Yes, we'll come back.
But yeah, so what are our keywords? Our keywords.
Yarr,
What is our keywords for this week?
Are you ready, kids?
We can't say that because copyright.
I can say, are you ready, kids?
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
if you-
about the gag thing. That's...
I mean, Popeye.
It's Popeye,
also-
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely Popeye.
I mean, not another IP from a different person.
We're actually talking about a Magic the Gathering podcast, and SpongeBob SquarePants was in Magic the Gathering. So guess what? Haha, loophole.
Again, I told you, Universes Beyond, let us get your stuff. We're going to rewrite all your shit.
Yep. Can't wait for Mr. Krabs to, equip the Buster Sword. And
You can
attack.
do that.
I can't wait for Mr. Krabs to equip the Buster Sword and attack Optimus Prime, who is mounted on Pinkie Pie. Because I feel like if they're horses, they have to have mount, right?
No.
I hate that.
No, that and like, have you seen a Pinkie Pie next to a Transformer?
No.
They're like this big.
Sounds like a shocking experience, though.
Probably.
Get it? Transformer?
I mean, I more think about them as like metal people.
I really hate the fact that I can type in Pinkie Pie in Mana Box and it actually shows something. It's a $23 card.
I got somebody at work with that. I was like, oh yeah, there's also, because we were talking about Universes Beyond, and I was like, oh yeah, there's also Pinkie Pie and the other MLP stuff. And he's like, they got an MLP in there.
Your party consists of each creature you control, and your party is always full.
Yeah, that one. Really, there's only the red-black one is pretty decent. The Chimera thing or whatever. That one's pretty fun.
Why? Discord.
Yes, I would run that.
Yep.
That the guy's so fun.
The fact that Pinkie Pie
Just like pick a different Magic card every turn, don't you? Like
with Discord.
yeah.
Disharmony end step. Choose a random non-land Magic card name. Until the next end step, you may cast a copy of a spell with that name, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. If you cast a spell
random-
this way, copy this ability if Discord is on the.
A random card.
All right, I need to. What's the legality of this card? Yes, not legal in anything.
No,
Okay,
no.
Good.
But again,
Good.
casual commander.
The fact that it's still $34 as a non-legal card is wild.
Oh yeah. Yep. But again, we're talking about kitchen table magic, man.
Yeah.
That is a fun card.
I'm gonna play my Twilight Sparkle deck. Every pony's invited. Come here, Pinkie Pie.
How come your Optimus Prime is a pedo?
I am Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime has never been even vaguely sexual.
No, the deep voice, I was acting like all those brony guys on TikTok where he's like, I'm going to play my Twilight Sparkle deck because she's such a good girl. And like they do the flip switch and he takes the fedora off and swipes like black makeup on his face instead. Whips
missed
change
that
and
one.
ponies excite me.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
That's
it's,
rough.
It's really rough.
Yeah. I mean, what a niche, like, little sexual window you got there at that point.
Dude, it exists
That's-
and it's
Oh, I believe it. I've seen Stranger Things. Good show. Good show. I don't know how they're ever coming back from that one. It's just not. Everybody's too old. Anyways, landfall is our keyword that we're going to start off with today, as our trio of keywords start rolling in. And if you haven't heard us talk about it before, landfall is
fucking garbage.
I don't know that it's still a keyword. I think it's one of those ability words.
Yeah, it's
It's the italicized non-keyword ability.
it's bullshit.
It is kind of bullshit
It's
because it's
bullshit.
basically what you're. It's almost worse. Like I feel like it would be. It's on par with the stuff that do thing every
Yeah,
time that you draw a card.
I'll make you a deal. Every time you breathe, I'll give you $1.
Right. I'll take that.
Oh shit, you have to fucking do it. That's landfall.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just benefits for playing the game. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Landfall is the trigger for landfall is when a land enters the battlefield.
It's
It
not
originally
a
came out
cost.
in Zendikar, which is where it should have stayed because the land was falling, and up and down, and that's where landfall should have stayed. But we even have it in the new sets now too. Like Final Fantasy has landfall.
Universes Beyond is just rife with landfall.
Yeah, they're like, hey, remember this thing we made 12 years ago that like broke the format? And Wizards is like, yeah. And they're like, let's do it again.
Let's do it a bunch.
But now
Like-
let's make it not just green.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've got it up. Well, so to be fair, I pulled up quite a few non-green landfall cards from Zendikar.
Mhm.
Like Ob Nixilis has landfall. There was an angel with landfall.
Which is kinda
Seer's
weird.
Sundial has landfall, which
Yep.
is an artifact. But yeah, no, overall, it hits all the colors, but it is very easy to put it on green.
Yep.
And green's the only one that it kind of makes sense with.
Yeah, because you're benefiting from land, which is what green is good at. Green
Yeah.
is good at benefiting from you playing lands. So, for example, do you know who's a great card that has landfall right now that came out in Final Fantasy and is green and benefits from landfall? Tifa.
Tifa Lockhart.
Tifa is a 1 and 1 green, 1/2.
Trample.
Yep, with trample that says every single time a land comes into the play
On your side.
on your side, you double the power of Tifa.
Which, I don't know if you guys have played, what's that game? 1264 or something like
Mhm.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, where every time you swipe it, like you add the numbers together.
Yeah.
That is essentially playing
That's
Tifa
what
Lockhart.
happens. Yeah, no, I think it was turn 4. I had attacked somebody for 128 trample.
Yeah, because what you do essentially is you play every land that gives you double the benefits of playing lands. So things like Evolving Wilds, where when it enters the battlefield, that's a landfall trigger because it's a land.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the same turn, you tap it and sacrifice it, and you put another land on the battlefield tapped, which is a land entering the battlefield. So
Doubles it
Tifa
again.
doubles it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can get like really weird with there's a card in our standard deck that we built on Arena that it's a 3/1 green that when it enters the battlefield, you mill 3 cards, I think.
He's 1 and a green. The
Okay.
ability is 3 and a green.
3 and a green for
Mhm.
the okay. But I think it's 3 mill, or is it 5?
Yep, you mill 3.
You mill 3. Then you pay its ability, which is 3/1 green, and you take all lands from your graveyard and put them on the battlefield.
Which, if you've been sacking Evolving Wilds and Fabled Passages
And
so
then
forth.
like dumping your library into your graveyard. you can pull out like 20 lands, and guess what happens when you double a power and toughness 20 times?
Yeah, see, you don't even need 20 so far overkill. I mean, really. So if you
we did it with 3, and it was enough.
if you can get her to, well, let's just start her at 1. The first land is going to take her to 2. The second land is going to take her to 4. The third land is going to take her to 8.
Yep.
And the fourth one will take her to 16.
Yeah.
After 4, we're talking lethal damage from a trampler.
And here's the thing, right? What if you equipped like a Buster Sword to it, and now she's a 4/5 starting?
Mm-hmm. So, and that's kind of the deck tech that I was going to get onto later is the mono green version that doesn't run any equipment. The goal is to get her to 5 and then 2 lands.
Oh, yeah, because it's lethal.
Yeah.
With trample.
Yep.
And that is lethal.
It is very, very viable, and it is super easy to hit. The only thing that I've run into issues with is when I run into a mirror match, and really at that point, it's the first one to either remove Tifa or the first one to attack.
Yeah.
Because she'll attack right through herself. Like, that's not an issue.
Next, we have Scry.
Scry is...
Scry is not nearly as good as Landfall.
No.
But Scry is still a very important tech to the game. Scry usually is followed by a number, like Scry 1, Scry 2, Scry 3, Scry 4.
So I learned something when doing the fact for this one this last week. Scry 1 is an ability that they can put on any color.
Yep.
Anything beyond Scry 1 is almost strictly blue, and anything 3 or more is strictly blue.
Oh, 100%. Well, it makes sense, though, because blue is like mages, and mages read books, and you're scrying through books.
I mean, it's essentially
It's a
preordained,
Yep.
depending on how you...
Yeah. But Scry says, when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top X cards of your library, X being whatever the Scry number is, and you get to decide, do you want to keep that on top, or do you want to put it on the bottom? Scry is good because it gives you more information about your deck than you have in the moment.
And potentially filtering.
Any information you can get about what's coming up in your deck is unbelievably important. And it's always going to be important because for example, any of the dual lands that have Scry, you just want to play them.
Yeah.
Even if they come into play tapped, you get free information.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're sitting in 4 lands in your hand, right? And you Scry 1 and the top card's a land, pitch that bitch to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, it's turn 1. I play the Scry land. The next card was going to be an 8 cost, and we're sitting on turn 1.
Yeah, might as well throw that on
I'm
the
just
bottom.
gonna throw
You're
it on
not
the bottom.
casting that right now.
No, and even if you shovel your deck later on and it eventually makes its way back to the top, you're not wasting a hand space with an 8-cost creature now on turn 2.
Yeah.
Because you want to try to hit your curve as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I learned from Hearthstone too, is if you're not using the full extent of your curve every turn that happens,
Right.
you are losing the game. You're losing momentum. And Magic and any card game is about momentum. As soon as you lose it, as soon as you stop drawing cards, funneling, playing things, you are losing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the problem that I had with my, for some reason, rank 5 EDH deck,
So
is I didn't have
again,
draw cards.
Basically, and what Surveil does is the exact same thing that Scry does, except you have the option, instead of putting it onto the bottom of your library, you can instead put it into your graveyard. Which anybody who has played Magic for long enough knows that your graveyard is an extension of your hand. Not to mention there are a lot of cards that are going to check your graveyard for different card types.
Yep.
Delirium, it's the only thing that pops up off the top of my head, but there are plenty of other things that will count. The Tarmogoyf will count the number of different card types in your graveyard.
Yep. But it's also important too because now you are thinning your deck, which is also a very important thing.
Correct.
Less options in your deck means more options for you to draw into what you need.
Right. You want gas. You don't want
Yeah.
want to get flooded out.
So the thing with Scry is it keeps things in your deck, so you're not losing cards out of your deck. So technically, it's definitely not better than Surveil, because you want to remove things from your deck and you want to make your deck as small as possible. So you pull cards faster. So in like EDH, for example, 99 cards, instead of that, after you draw 7 for the beginning, you surveil, you're 1 card less.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're sitting close to 90 cards in your deck instead of 99, which is significantly better odds at drawing what you need to.
Yep.
So you don't need to play things like tutors or anything like that because you're just thinning your deck.
Yeah.
And Surveil, there was an entire cycle of Surveil lands,
Mm.
and they were all good.
Again, it's a very solid ability. Think about, and these are just like things that aren't optimized for your graveyard. Imagine if you're playing something like Golgari, where you've got like Dredge, or you're running amazing reanimator targets, and you want a great way to just from the cradle to the grave, right in the graveyard, and then reanimate them.
Yep. Exactly. It's great for black.
Mhm.
Like Surveil is phenomenal for black. Good for green too, because there are a lot of cards that are like you can play lands from your graveyard.
Mhm.
So Surveil can allow you to pitch those to your graveyard, or even there's some white cards that allow you to pull artifacts from your graveyard.
Right.
So
right.
once again, benefit from Surveil.
So aside from the lands, I'd have to look further into it at this point, but I didn't see a whole lot of cards that have Surveil on them that weren't specifically Dimir. So either a blue card, a black card, or a gold card.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it on red.
Mm-hmm. Again, aside from the lands.
Except for the dual lands, because
Yeah.
the other color is on there from Dimir.
Right.
So that's where it matters. But like in red itself, I don't believe there is Surveil.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a red thing. Because
No.
red, you're just casting your whole hand every turn anyway.
Right, right. Or just exiling stuff from the top of your
It
library.
doesn't matter.
I forget, have they come up with a shorthand term for that? Where you exile something from the top of your library and then you can play it for that turn?
It just says it. They haven't made a short word for it yet,
They
which
should-
I feel like is coming.
Yeah.
Especially because it is becoming a more common thing now.
I think they should call it turn and burn.
Turn and burn.
Because you
They
just
would have done
flip
that in
it off.
Aether Drift if they were
They-
going to do it at any time.
Well, I don't know. They're kind of behind the times most of the time.
True.
Although, again, especially seeing how, like, just within our small company here, we have 3 different releases that are happening at any given time.
Yeah.
Just the 2 of us trying to keep up with where that's at and what's out at each time.
Yep.
I have a lot of feeling and, like, I understand a lot more of what it must be like over at WotC to, like, because they spend upwards of 2 years developing different sets. And I'm sure, I know that they don't have enough staff to just, like, everybody's working on their own project. So you might be working on 2 or 3 different projects at once.
I couldn't imagine that. Like, for
Right.
example, the next set we're getting is Edge of Eternities, which I'm fucking stoked for.
Hell yeah, space!
Dude, especially because
Space Tezzeret.
one of the decks they're releasing, the name of it sounds like they're creating a way that you destroying your lands gives you benefit,
Yeah.
which is going to be nice because there is a lot of land hate out there that isn't being played.
Right.
But now if you're but now if you have a deck that's like you gain benefit from like if you destroy this land, target creature gets like +3/+3 to 1 turns, something like that.
Right.
You're going to exclusively play land hate against yourself.
Mm.
You're like, that land, fuck that land. And then that's the thing too, is remember, the worst land like ever created, Ben Bateman talked about it.
Which one?
It's the one that
The one that doesn't tap for mana, I'm sure.
it does not tap for mana.
Okay.
It taps for something absolutely fucking stupid.
Oh, it's a cycle of lands, and it makes legends band with other legends of that color.
Which is dumb and it doesn't do
Yep.
anything.
So there are 5 of the most useless lands.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you would play those in that deck because guess what? You're exclusive. You need lands that you need to play with, but then you're going to put lands in there that you're exclusively going to destroy.
I think they're still kind of expensive, so I would probably
Yeah.
just play
Yeah.
anything else.
But that's one of the deck subtypes is that, which is interesting. This is also the first set in a while that is has magic characters in it from the universe and stuff, the magic universe. that is a complete disconnect from the storyline. It has nothing to do with the storyline of Magic, but is still Magic.
You know, I heard you say that the other day, and it kind of made me sad a little bit because I heard a theory that I liked more, and it unfortunately doesn't allow for that. The two won't coincide, and that was that they could. I didn't realize how much we've been following Jace.
Dude, Jace is like Magic.
Yeah, no, we
remember,
go from
Jace
one
is
thing to
gone
the next,
now.
just constantly.
Jace was perfected.
Well, he's still there. He was cured and so forth, which that was also really frustrating.
Yeah, they should
They
have
should
just
have killed everyone who was completed.
yes. Yeah,
Like-
considering Nissa was completed, Jace was completed, Chandra was completed.
and they're just like, oh no, they're dealing with PTSD and so
Yep.
forth, and
yeah.
but
But like the fact that Edge of Eternities is not following the Magic storyline is kind of sad, because like we saw Tezzeret, like Tezzeret's a captain, and I'm like, dude, that's gonna be so cool. I wonder how they're
Right.
gonna fit that in the story, and they're like, this isn't a part of the story, and we're like, then why use the
Wait.
Magic characters?
wait, what?
Yeah, Tezzeret is in Edge of
Yeah.
Eternities, but it's not a part of the canon storyline. Edge of Eternities has nothing to do with the canon storyline
Well,
at all.
I thought that meant at least that, like, we were gonna go meet some new characters
No.
and follow some other non-Jace characters
No.
around for a little while.
It's
or
like
something.
It's like the
It's like
Spider.
a one shot.
It's like the Spider-Verse, but they don't touch each other. Basically, they don't connect in the universes at all.
That's
It's a
so
universes
wild.
beyond without being universes beyond.
Universes beyond within.
don't
See,
don't
this is what
always
they were
cannot
talking
win.
about in the multiverse of madness with
Yep.
what did they call it? With the two universes touching each other.
Yep.
And then they just like destroy each other. This is what's happening within Magic the Gathering right now. It's actively just eating itself alive from the inside out.
So the reason they're doing this, though, right, is because they don't want Magic players to be confused by the story and like the long history and stuff. This is a quote from it. It is, so Edge of Eternities features a story that is intentionally disconnected from the main storyline. It means players don't need to be caught up on the current web fiction to understand the set's narrative. While it's still considered canon, it's designed as a self-contained story set in a new location, the Edge, bordering the Blind Eternities.
Wizards of the Coast has not had a standard storyline that they have kept up
Dude,
with.
90% of the books that are
in, like-
printed are not even by Wizards of the Coast, and they make more sense than the shit Wizards of the Coast has put up.
In years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah, one of the best books I ever read wasn't even a Wizards of the Coast book.
Which one was that?
I don't fucking remember. That's the problem.
That's so. Who was the guy in it? Who was a
It
person
was
in it?
Jace. Always
Oh,
Jace, dude.
gosh.
It's always Jace.
You know, honestly, I would highly recommend if you ever get a chance to go back and read the books for Time Spiral. Just a little callback to earlier. The Dissension was decent out of the first three
Mm-hmm.
of for Ravnica and whatnot, but there was a lot of obviously politics and stuff that you are like enough about Ravnica at this point that
I love Ravnica, dude.
the cliffhanger like Rakdos was like the big
Yeah.
popping out at the end for Dissension and
Yep.
so forth, but no, I highly recommend at some point, even just the first book of the Time Spiral series. If you can read that one and you don't want to pick up the other two, I'd be real surprised.
But yeah, Edge of Eternities is going to be disconnected from. It's both connected
So,
and disconnected.
It sounds like they're just doing their own
Yeah.
storyline. We don't have to worry about
we're getting-
Oko showing up.
we're
or-
getting Pirate Captain Tezzeret, which is cool
Hey,
as fuck, dude.
I love Tezzeret's storyline,
That's
man.
cool as
That
fuck.
guy has from one end to the
Yep.
next, he's been really kind of interesting. Not only that, but he's what's the plane? He's Esper. He's
Yeah.
an Esper feller. Kind of an
Yeah.
interesting bunch of half man, half machine.
Yeah, he's a weird big like connection. But yeah, Edge of Eternities is going to be super cool.
hmm
The artwork that they've released to us is like, dude.
Oh yeah. No, the lands. We
Yep.
saw some of the lands
Yeah.
for those. Those are pretty amazing.
So Edge of Eternities, I know for a fact. Like, for example, this is a direct photo from the Spelljammer book
Yeah.
that Wizards also produces.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're going to get a lot of crossover art from that D&D book.
Which is kind of funny because I feel like it's been the opposite for so long.
Yeah.
Like there's so many IPs and like little offshoots of different things on YouTube that'll just like randomly use Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
art for their stuff.
Yeah, right here. So one of the decks is black, red, and green. It's called World Shaper. Sacrifice lands and grow back stronger
Okay.
is the key for it. And then the other one they've released is Counterintelligence, which is blue, white, and red,
Mm-hmm.
which is boost artifacts, proliferate counters.
Ooh.
Um,
Proliferate never ends up like working out quite as well as you want it to.
no, and then we're getting like 5 different colored dice, which don't tell me that's not the fucking Infinity Gauntlet of dice. But yeah, the pre-release is gonna have like 5 different ones, and
What if that was kind of what they're looking to do? This is the universes within that they're going to do for Endgame. I mean, think about
maybe.
it. Yeah, we've got like a year of Marvel next year, don't we?
yeah,
Because they're doing Marvel. I know they're doing Avengers, and I know they were doing Spider-Man.
Yep,
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man
happening in the fall.
yep. August 1st is the release date of Edge of Eternities,
Okay.
which means within the next couple weeks we're gonna start getting spoilers.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're gonna start getting
again.
yeah, we're gonna start getting spoilers within the next couple weeks.
So excited to stop talking about Final Fantasy for the next 2.5 years.
That video I sent you of the guy who's like, it shows a picture of Final Fantasy. You see this? No, you don't. This never existed. This is not in your brain. This doesn't matter. And then it shows a picture of Edge of Eternity. Says, this is the only thing you're going to think about. This is the only thing that exists. And that is literally how magic works.
Yeah.
Like, people are already, like, as soon as the first Edge of Eternity's spoiler comes out, Final Fantasy is going to be nothing.
I still like to bring up the fact, because I think we're the only ones so far that I've heard that haven't just like blip mentioned Avatar, which is again still on the year.
It's on the
like-
list. That's the thing is like they were first saying it was going to be like a bigger set thing, but if you look at this timeline that we're getting, right? Because
It's
August,
so
Edge of
crammed.
Eternities,
Yep.
end of the year in the fall still is Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Where the fuck is Avatar going to go?
I wonder if that's going to be the Christmas drop, the November December. That's my only guess.
Which once again is where you talked about Wizards of the Coast, like working on
Kids.
3 different projects at the same
Mhm.
time. Like they are actively working on Edge of Eternities, Spider-Man, and Avatar at the same time.
Well, that's the fun thing is I would imagine that
Which is-
Spider-Man, everything up to Spider-Man is probably already done.
But that's the scary part about them working on multiple projects is that's why you see, because back in the day when Block still existed, right?
Mhm.
Sets all coincided together in cards that came out later in the block all worked with cards earlier in the block.
Correct.
We still have that happening. They're just not in the same blocks.
That's just because they print Landfall and everything, and it works fine with everything.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Aether Drift and Final Fantasy, for example. There are some cards that work really well together from both
Yeah.
those sets,
Yep.
but that's definitely purposeful because they're building them at the same time.
Didn't even think about that, but between the two, there's some pretty heavy artifact synergy.
Yes, because anytime Kaladesh is included in a set, it's artifact.
In
heavy.
case no one has noticed yet, this is definitely an equipment set.
Oh,
Okay? This is-
100%. This is equipment's. Equipment's black is big in this set. Black is some crazy strong cards.
It does.
Blue, red though, Wizards, kind of nutty.
We'll see how that pans out. I honestly feel like I haven't seen a whole lot of it in Standard. I know that there's probably stuff going on with
Yeah.
it, but really the ground, again, black is very predominant in at least the arena
Black,
games.
white.
Mono black, black, white.
Black white life
and
gain
mono
is
green.
huge right now.
Yeah, black white life
Yep.
gain.
Huge right now. Like I played against somebody who was up to like 87 health at a standard game on turn 5, and I was like, "The fuck is this?"
The guy that I attacked on turn 4 for 128 was in like the 34 range.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this, dude?
And again, this is turn 4.
Yeah.
And he's already up to like in the 30s.
Yep. So, dude, yeah, Edge of Eternities is gonna be so good. I hope we get. Calling it now. We're getting Galaxy foils back, like they did in Infinity.
Oh, that would be neat. I like that.
It would make sense, right? Galaxy foil in a space set.
I mean, it would make sense, but we were just pointing out several things that would totally make sense or that seem counterintuitive.
And people would
Wizards
say,
just-
"Oh, they're gonna leave those in Infinity because that was a special thing for that set." Then explain Surge foils.
yeah.
Surge foils were also supposed to be a set exclusive thing, and now they're everywhere.
Now they're making people all kinds of money.
Yep. Yeah. And like, the Galaxy foils are gorgeous.
Mm,
Like the one that I have, the breeding pool,
right.
beautiful foil.
See,
What a crazy pretty foil.
my real question is what's gonna sell that set? Are they gonna reprint the duels like they had in Infinity?
I feel
Are
like
they-
those were good because we got like Godless Shrine, breeding
Yeah.
pool. Those were really those
And
are good dual lands.
And they can reuse that
Stomping
art.
Ground, because remember I have Stomping Ground, Godless. I have almost all of them except for one of them.
I wouldn't even be upset with them for reusing that art either, because it's
No.
a beautiful art, and I'd love
Great
another
art.
opportunity to pick those up.
The we're definitely gonna get full art lands because, like I said, with my hatred towards it, they're printing them in every set now.
Yeah.
So I might as well just accept it.
Right.
However, if they print them like they did in Infinity, because they did two different ones, they did the ground version of the full arts, and then they did the planet side of it. And
See,
the
I think we
planet
need the
ones
planet
are
ones.
so good.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we need lots of planet, like, because I feel like the plane and the land thing is not properly like relayed.
no, and that's where like the planets is going to be a big thing because it's Edge of Eternities. We're in space.
Yeah.
So being on
The
the planet,
blind eternities.
being on the planet literally doesn't matter. It's
Right.
the outside of the planet that's going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
So like waste is probably like if they print a waste, it's probably going to be like a black hole of some sort,
Right.
or just like nothingness.
I would love to see some more Parhelion level equipment,
Yeah.
or not equipment, vehicles.
Yep.
Maybe even some that are just like if you have creatures on the field, they're considered.
Yeah,
Crude.
like a boat with flying would
Yeah.
make sense in this one,
Mhm.
right? That would 100% make sense.
I mean, they have plenty of other flying ships. There's the Predator. There's I don't think the Predator is a vehicle, but the Weatherlight's definitely a vehicle.
with the flagship
Um.
Parthian 2.
Mm-hmm.
So there is definitely boat flying ships, but they don't list them
Right.
as boats. They just list them as vehicles.
Vehicles. Yeah.
So it'd be cool if they put the subtype boat in there, which they could, right? Or I mean,
that seems clunky.
I can't wait for them to put the subtype spaceship.
Oh gosh.
I
don't-
dude, there is the chance and the opportunity for them to put spaceship as a subtype.
There is, and I found out something recently. Magic is now self-described as high fantasy. Oh, steampunk techno is what they were going for. High fantasy steampunk techno.
What's today? Today's the 19th.
Yeah, happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Happy Juneteenth. Yes, Juneteenth. Super important, right? Juneteenth is when slaves were free. It's when it was signed into order that you
Oh,
can
is
no
it
longer.
the Emancipation
It's
Proclamation?
yes, it's the Emancipation. So, super important part of history, right? Very important. We wanted to shout it out anyway because there's a lot of amazing people of color creators out there.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Magic, right?
Yeah.
Who have given us amazing people of color cards.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing cards, right? Great artwork, always on flavor, really good at, describing these things, like the struggles that people have had in real life. They still follow within Magic and everything because that's just how it is, right? But it's good, it's a good time to reflect, like banning certain cards that Magic's did. Magic banned cards during.
These are cards we're not going to put up on the.
No, we're not. But there's cards that were banned during the Black Lives Matter protests because it's one of those things where Magic's like, we also need to take a stand on this. There's cards that were.
Oh, I think they did that before.
They
that
did.
all
It was like
happened.
right
That was-
before. It was almost like Uncanny Valley. Like we're gonna
Hey.
do this right now.
Yup, do it.
They were like, we're gonna get ahead of this curve.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And a lot of it was again artwork, and it was it made sense on where it came from. I don't
Yep.
think any of it was made to like well. There might be one that included devils that might have been a little slurish, but I think a lot of it was done initially in not a
Not a pointed, targeted way.
no. It was more just utilizing again like the card
Prejudice.
Um,
Utilizing prejudice to make
that made
profit.
sense on a level. At the same time, yeah,
making
just
money
depicting
off of
that
prejudice is bad.
Yeah,
Right? And we're not going to do that.
no,
So, but yeah, Juneteenth, thank you to all of you creators who, have suffered through things in life and have had a harder time in life growing up, having to do things just because of the color of your skin. And it is harder for folks like you out there to get through it. But,
yeah,
from us to you, thank you for everything that you've contributed to the community.
yeah. And thanks for showing up and playing.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I'm glad that we have creators who are putting their all into everything.
Creators and players too.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I can only imagine what it's like to show up to. I can't. I've been in various situations where I'm the only white guy walking
Yeah.
in, so I can imagine what it's like to show up at a card store.
Yep.
Being the only person of color.
I mean, hell, growing up, right? We're in Maine. Maine is a very heavy white state.
Yeah, we're in Portland though.
We're in
which
Portland,
is-
though. However, growing up, I would go to my local LGS, and there wouldn't be any people of color.
Mhm.
And when they would walk in when I was younger, like 10, 11, there would definitely be a hush in the room.
Yeah,
Even when I was 10 or 11.
that's interesting.
Here I am now at 31 this year, and nobody even bats an eye,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yep.
And I love that.
Awesome.
It's such a good feeling.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, because Magic again with Final Fantasy and everything, like the game, the crowd gets larger. We need everybody on this.
yep,
okay?
exactly. And the more the merrier. And it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, where you came from.
The
Magic is
sixth color
including everybody.
is super inclusive, and we want everybody
Yep.
that puts their lands behind their creatures.
Exactly. Instead of the lands in front of the creatures. But yes. So the 20th, tomorrow, is
Right.
the start of the preview panel at MagicCon Las Vegas.
Oh, cool!
That is when we get the first look at Edge of Eternities.
That's
going to
be awesome.
Tomorrow is the official start of preview season for Edge of Eternities.
Excellent.
And I
So
learned that
excited to
because
get-
of the Magic TCG that says, so when are we going to start talking about Edge of Eternities? And somebody said Friday, June 20th.
Nice.
So,
The real question that I have for you, Sean, is: do you think that we're gonna edge off this this power level? Are we gonna have anything in this set that's going to compete? That is going to bring anything to the format standard? That is that will be substantial in the shadow of Final Fantasy and with Spider-Man right around the corner.
it could. So I think we're going to get some more powerful lands than we're used to.
Okay.
I think we're going to both get reprints. And I feel like because of the whole Destroy Lands deck,
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be some crazy powerful lands, right? Because if the point is to destroy lands in this set, right, they can increase the power level of what lands could do. I think they're going to push the limits of what lands do.
Mm.
Because we already have lands that turn into creatures and stuff, right?
Right.
But they
We've got
but-
lands that are instants. We've got lands that are modal.
So I feel like they can push the limit on lands in the set, especially because of that whole... You can't just make a deck that's built around destroying lands without making lands crazy powerful because they need to be destroyed.
I don't know.
I feel like we're going to get some land hate prints.
What's his name? The the Panther feller, Lord Windgrace.
Mm-hmm.
That commander is very land destructy.
Yeah, but it's a niche land destruction.
That is, that's
right?
true.
There's
yeah,
not
without
a
that
lot of it.
commander, there's not a lot going on.
Exactly. So I feel like even just that spoiler we got of that, like the proliferate ones, whatever. Like that's been done a million times.
Right.
And in blue, it's whatever. But the fact that we specifically have something that says destroy your lands and make things more powerful is really intriguing to me.
Do you think that they're going to make a mistake here? Do you think that's going to be something that they're like, oh, let's add this new ability called Sweep, and then
100%
printed on 3 cards, and all of them suck?
100%. There's a chance where they will underpower stuff, and there's definitely a chance they're going to overpower stuff. We're getting a Planeswalker again.
Okay.
Which remember the last Planeswalker we got was the Aether Spark. I mean, we also got Chandra in the set, but like, it was another Chandra. Yes, we got Chandra and Aether Drift.
Okay.
But
yeah, that makes sense.
But once again,
that was just the one.
Yeah, but once again, you didn't really remember it because nobody cared.
Yeah, no, it was not a relevant card. I think that's a really good place for Planeswalkers. I think Planeswalkers should be flavor reserved for the casual tables. I like Planeswalkers.
Yeah, because Super Friends is annoying as shit.
Not only that, but a 3-drop Planeswalker really just makes it something that you have to play at that point. Like, again,
and you
you're
have
on
to
curve.
target it too. Like, you have to get rid of it sooner than later.
Right.
The longer
right.
it sits there, the bigger of a threat it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh yeah, we also got Ugin Dragon in.
Oh, that was the
Dragon Series.
one.
Yeah, we also got Ugin too.
So they're
and
sticking it to,
Elspeth.
like,
yeah, but the thing
one
is,
or two. No, else. Oh yeah,
she was
okay.
she was also Chart Gear. Once again, we've gone through 2 releases now. 3 releases.
Mm-hmm. Because there was none in.
No,
They
there was
didn't mess with
none
that.
in Final Fantasy.
That felt good.
Yeah, but they also gave us Saga Creatures, which is now going to be a thing going forward forever.
Yeah,
especially because they changed the Saga rules.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So,
they definitely tried.
We're going to get more sagas, especially because they just changed the rules for it. They're going to use that to their advantage. We're going to get sagas in Edge of Eternity.
Sagas are a nice card type. They are. I don't
It makes
dislike them.
Bombadil even stronger.
Right. No, that's very true. He didn't need any help.
No,
there
he
either.
didn't. Now he has help. I feel like... What else could... I mean, Tezzeret... I don't think they're going to make Tezzeret a Planeswalker.
Do you think he got desparked?
I don't... I think... They're... Because the thing is, they said they've already released the name of the Tezzeret, right? He's like a pilot. He's like a captain or something.
Yep.
I think he's just going to be a legendary creature because the thing is, if Tezzeret is the face child of this set,
right?
Why make him a Planeswalker when that technically gives you less opportunities to use him in a deck?
So
I feel like
I feel like
they're going to make him a legendary creature and people are going to use him as a commander.
But I feel like there's so you're familiar with Tezzeret's storyline?
Yes.
And what happened?
Tezzeret's like actually one of the few Planeswalkers I do know things about.
Okay, so you know that he has a planar bridge installed on his person.
Yes, which is why when he was being controlled for a bit, everybody was freaking the fuck out because like, oh, he can actually like walk bad guys into different planes of existence.
Yep.
Which was a problem.
So here's my question. Would they... Because desparking sounds fun, where he can't planeswalk anymore.
Yeah.
But if he still has the planar portal, that would be kind of interesting because he could move stuff from one plane to a next, but he himself would be stuck there.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, and
that could be a fun thing to like see conceptualized onto a card.
Yeah,
I think if they could find some way to work that in.
Yeah. I think what you said, vehicles are gonna come into it.
That would be nice.
We're gonna get vehicles. We're getting more space whales. Hell yeah, whales. But like I said,
maybe some Eldrazi remnants.
We talked about that. The fact that like Eldrazi and the Eternities are literally just like jellyfish.
Mm-hmm.
What if we get like a spawn of like the name of the card is Spawn of Emrakul, right?
Yeah.
Something
but it's
like that.
Like a tinier version.
It's just
of
not
Emrakul.
great. Like it does stuff. It doesn't have Annihilator, but it's just like I do stuff, I guess. And then Tezzeret just like squishes it like a bug.
What about so there are definitely rumors within the Sliver community of we have had a confirmation within the last 6 months that we will be going to the home plane of the Slivers.
It could be a
soon.
lead into it, yes.
Okay.
So I do agree with that because the Edge of Eternities is the edge, which technically connects to all the planes.
Right.
But yeah, I think Wizards with Edge of Eternities is going to use D&D artwork. I think we're going to get great lands. I think we're going to get really good lands. Definitely vehicles for boats, for flying boats. Maybe Eldrazi, but on a lower scale.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially Slivers, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
That would be insane. Let's make Slivers relevant again. Yay!
I think it would be fun. I always like getting some Slivers. That being said, the last time that we had any mention of like a Sliver homeworld, I looked into the lore behind that and like the Grave Mother and whatnot. I don't want to see that. It's not.
Yeah, considering, could you imagine the legendary Slivers we're gonna get out of that?
Ugh.
Like, we think Sliver Queen is bad.
That, and it would honestly,
And
as
the
a
first
Sliver player,
Sliver?
it would be really nice to see a cycle of legendaries for each color.
That would
That
be
way
interesting.
you could just run mono green Slivers if you wanted to. There's enough of them now.
But then it would make that Sliver that I saw somebody complaining about the other day. They're like, why would I want to give all my Slivers Defender? That makes it so they can't attack. I'm like, because it's all Slivers.
Yeah.
If somebody else is playing Slivers, you lock them out.
Well, so there's another way about that. Basically, what you want to do is you use that one to like clean, because you can like pay 3 and return it to your hand to draw a card. Drawing a card's great, but picking up all your Slivers before you board wipe is also nice.
True. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to see with Edge of Eternities. And I'm excited for it.
Bonus question.
Sure.
So we have Tezzeret. Okay, Tezzeret's confirmed. He's definitely going to be in it.
Yep.
You haven't heard of anyone else, correct?
No.
Okay.
Not a
So-
single other person.
I know that we're getting away from the primary line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we're going to have any other named characters in this, or do you think that Tezzeret is our tie-in at this point?
I believe so. Space, right?
Right.
Always has space pirates and shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a reprint of Ragavan.
Really?
The monkey pirate.
See, and I was going more Angrath, but yeah, no, Angrath.
Think about the fact that it's we're gonna get space pirates. There's
Yeah.
no way we don't get space
We
pirates.
better get some space pirates.
Ragavan in space, alternate art, wearing a spaceman helmet would sell like fucking hotcakes.
That would sell.
That
like
would be
hotcakes.
adorable as shit. And
Um,
we'd get a different Ragavan than the one we have, which is absurdly expensive and absurdly good.
Correct.
Like, we could get
Oh, you mean not like a reprint, but like an actual different variation?
actual different variation.
Okay, yeah, that would be fun.
yeah, maybe splashing a different color into it. Like, obviously, keep it red. Keep it
yeah.
red, right? But maybe white, for some reason, like, sticks out to me.
Well, that, or what if we leaned heavily into the, again, we're out in space and so forth. What if we leaned heavily into the colorless idea and he was like a red and a colorless?
Yeah, so increase his cost by 1, because he's already only 1. And, yeah, make him 2. Or I would also say maybe green, because if we're doing
Okay.
land-focused stuff, like making green,
That, and he is a monkey.
he is a literal monkey.
Monkey pirate.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a reprint of Ragavan. That'd be kind of cool, honestly.
That would be nice.
Which then we'd have to have
Scary.
we'd have to have Scary as well, obviously.
Scary, sorry.
Yeah, his protege.
Scary Rev, I think is her name.
Yeah,
But-
but I would like to see that. Like, pirates will probably make a comeback,
Mm-hmm.
which we haven't really had pirates since Ixalan.
Ixalan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because we didn't really have that many pirates when we went back to Ixalan, did we?
No,
Because we were like plundering under the. Yeah, we just like. How did that? I don't,
I
even
don't know. But like, that's where I think we could get that.
Let's go to the center of the world.
Yeah, right. It's not like we've done that movie twice.
Yeah. Ugh.
And both times got significantly worse.
You know, to be fair, the Kong versus Godzilla, the one where like the first 15 minutes is just Kong running around
Yeah.
in the center. I would I would probably watch an hour and a half long movie of no dialogue, just Kong in the
Yes.
wilderness doing Kong things.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that
just a
would
nature
be-
documentary.
Yeah, I would totally watch that.
Yep.
100%. I would probably be
Yep.
more interested in that and less critical.
Yeah.
Than the actual movie that I watched.
I feel like if we get any cats, dude, they're going to Edge of Eternities is 100% either main set or bonus sheet gonna have an animal with a spaceman helmet.
You think so?
We're gonna get at least one.
That's fair.
There's no way we don't. Like, cause you know how cute as fuck that would be.
Do we get a space suit?
Oh, probably.
That would be a fun equipment.
Yeah, probably. We haven't had like a chest piece equipment in a while. We've had a lot of weapons, but like not really any chest pieces.
Yeah.
We had one in D&D because it
Mhm.
was the plate. But I can't think of any other notable ones that have come out recently. Argentum armor? When did Argentum armor come out?
Oh, that's been a while. That was
See,
like Dark Steel.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wanna
And then we
say.
had the M21 one, the one that removes flying.
Mhm.
Kamigawa had a couple. But yeah, we haven't gotten like a chest plate.
Yeah.
So spacesuit would make sense. That'd be kind of cool,
That'd be
honestly.
pretty sick.
Some sort of laser sword we're gonna get. There's once
Ooh.
again, see, there's some things that are so obviously on
Do
the
you-
teat that we it's
Do
gonna.
you think they would flirt with that IP? They won't get it.
I think
um,
I think they would like to push the edge as much as they could.
I hate to say it because every Star Wars card game that I've seen or played is just absolutely the worst possible thing.
And they somehow make them worse every time they create them. Yeah.
yeah. Which sucks because a lot of the cards are really great, and the mythos is right there to
Yeah.
play some really fun card games.
So deck spotlight. Do you have an idea for deck spotlight? 'Cause
I was just gonna focus on our Tifa little experiment that we got going on
Yeah.
here because we have 3 different Tifa decks running right now.
Yep.
There's the primary one that we made from the Commune with Beavers and the Buster Sword
Yep.
and so forth. Then there's the secondary one that I made with the blue splice, and then there's the third one that I got from Saffron Olive. It's supposed to be a budget build, and it might be, I don't know.
Tifa makes it not a budget build. though.
Right. That and
Considering
it was,
each Tifa is like $50 by itself, even
Yeah.
the ugly version of them.
But there's a really nice card. I always love these hidden cards in sets that I didn't pay attention to. There's a card, a rare for 3 green in Karloff Manor.
Mm-hmm.
That-
Karlov Manor, okay.
yeah, so you either get to go search your library for a creature or a land, and if it's a land, you put it into play tapped. And then the second mode is you can put like a +1/+1 counter on something and make it fight something.
Oh.
So it's removal, and it searches up your combo piece,
Yep.
and if you have your combo piece, it grabs you a land.
If you aren't playing Chocobo Kick in every green deck, why are you not?
I did drop that down to 2.
But Chocobo Kick is good because of the fact that you fight something without it dealing damage to you,
That's called Bite.
which is really good. I don't care what you say. That's such a good ability.
That is really good.
Especially when you mix it with Tifa,
Mm-hmm.
who
Or Death Touch.
or Death Touch, yeah. So
Bye, you.
the Tifa deck, we sat down, we were playing one day, and we started like thinking, oh, Buster Sword would be really good on Tifa
Mm-hmm.
because it hits that whole almost 5 thresholds. That is the standard thing right now.
That, and it's got trample on it, so it's going to connect.
It's going to connect, which means it's going to give you that free drop how much damage you're dealing from your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the brainchild of it. We put Commune with Beavers in there to get you more lands and stuff.
A
And
couple
then,
of big 6 drops, that way you had a payoff.
Yep, and then Buster Swords, obviously. And then we also had Traveling Chocobo, which allowed you to do that. Saw's Chocobo, which is just one of the greatest landfall cards in existence.
I would say Saw's Chocobo is the one card that carried between the 3 different variants,
Which
and
is-
it's very much a good
Yeah.
backup.
Which
to
is
Tifa.
hilarious considering if you put Saw's Chocobo on the field and Tifa, and you have the Saw's Chocobo at a 20 toughness or power, and you have Tifa at 1 toughness, guess which one dies first?
They go for the Tifa.
They go
every
for the
time.
Tifa every time.
Yep.
They ignore
It's
this
that-
Chocobo that's gigantic.
You can chump it.
Yeah.
You can chump it. It's
Yep.
that Tifa gets out of control.
Yeah.
Again, if you have it at like a 10, or if you have it at a 5, which is very easy to do, and you've got
very easy.
a land drop and like a Evolving Wilds or whatnot out there, that's 3
Yeah.
multiplications of 5.
Yep.
Not very good at math, but that's more than 20.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've learned from playing the Tifa deck on Arena that it needs the control aspect. Because if you don't pull things away from Tifa getting hurt, or if you're not removing things quick enough, Tifa is 1,000,000% guaranteed to die, because the standard right now is unbelievably toxic.
Enough people have been hit with that 128 that she will be removed on site. It is
on
not...
Arena, 100%. On paper, probably less common because she's expensive to purchase.
That's fair, but again, I don't know what the...
Arena is 100% easier to build decks that you normally wouldn't build because they're too expensive in real life and standard.
That's fair, but we don't know how many boxes of these have been cracked, and when it comes down to trading, if you need 4 of them, it's not going to be that difficult. Tifa and Cloud have been the 2 most popular.
Which is crazy, because I've seen no Tifas.
Mm-hmm.
I have the only Cloud that I've seen, because I pulled it.
I was watching, I think the guy's name is Redbeard MTG.
Yes. Yeah.
And he had opened every variant of Cloud, and I think there was 9 of them total that he had gotten.
Yeah, because there's that one version of Cloud that's selling for $900 right now.
And he only got 5 different versions of Sid on 6 different
That's the crazy
copies.
I found out Sid is 1 per box.
Really?
Sid is 1 per box.
That's
common.
an uncommon.
Uncommon. He's an uncommon 1 per box.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Because it's the whole you can have as many of them.
Yeah, but I mean, why not throw 2 or 3 in there, or just let it sit to actual
Think
random?
about it, right? Think about how much we've opened.
Mm-hmm.
How many do we own?
1.
3.
Oh, we do?
We've
Oh, there
we've
was
opened
the
2
bundles.
boxes, and we opened the bundle.
So if you want SIDS, really, if
Bundles,
you want
dude.
value, the bundles.
The bundle
seem
is
where it's
such
really
a
at.
good value.
The play boosters aren't bad, but the bundles are really paying off.
The bundles are also important to note. There are some full art foils that only come in the bundle, which is why a lot of people are opening them going, I'm not seeing any values for these on not TCG Player.
Right.
Because they're like, I'm not seeing any values for this. It's because people haven't opened them yet, because they only sit in the promo slot of the bundles, and you get 2 promos in every one. So, for example, that uncommon foil I have
Right.
actually sells for $50.
Damn.
Because it's the only version of it. It's the full art foil. And then the other...
The one from the bundle?
Yep. And then
Nice.
the specialty Bolts and Boko foil
Mm-hmm.
is a different foil than the normal set foil, because it's full art foil, which is why it's for $25.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's the same card, it's just it only comes in that promo bundle slot. Full art Vivi, normal artwork Vivi, not the specialty artwork Vivi.
Right.
Full art only comes in the bundle. So that's why that one's $300.
Yeah.
Because it only comes there.
Invest in the bundles, man. It sounds like that's where the real money is.
The full art...
Too bad to whoever's going to win this play booster.
I know.
They could have just gotten a really good bundle instead.
Don't sell viewers away. But no, the bundle is a great value. And actually, I've gotten 2 boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. We're not scalpers. We actually try to find things and actually use the things, and we're not selling them. But we've opened 2 boxes. The bundle still gave me all of the better stuff,
Yeah.
and my pre-release pack did, than these.
Mm-hmm.
However, we also just had bad luck because I've seen other play booster boxes that are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody pulled the special art Sephiroth foil from a play booster. And that's $350.
Yeah, that pays for it.
The
That-
the full art foil special artwork VV is also $300.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there are value pulls still in the play boosters.
Yeah.
The collector's boosters are good if you want the chocobo.
And chuck your VVs while you still can. I
Yep.
guarantee you when the banhammer comes down, that guy is going to get it. And if not on this round, he will get it.
Yep.
There's no way they're keeping that thing around.
Ban for Commander, probably not standard. It's not seeing a lot of standard play, but for Commander,
It's-
100%.
Yeah, I was going to say that if the combo is in standard, it's not real prevalent, or it's just
it's
not
not
what
as
people want to play.
No, it's because the real combo pieces to go infinite are not in standard.
That's fair.
So, I mean, look at Kafka.
And maybe it'll be all right. Maybe its power level is on par for like your tier 5 decks.
Yep.
I
Buster
mean-
Sword not being a legendary, though, mistake.
How did that?
Holy fuck. The fact that you could just
It's
copy Buster Sword indefinitely. Before we get into our Reddit roundup for today, we wanted to bring up some super unbelievably exciting news.
It's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting. We have officially partnered up with Mana Pool, which is a trading card website where you can sell and buy Magic cards from.
Yeah. It is only Magic cards. It is geared towards Magic players for Magic players by Magic players. The research that I've done into the app, the website, and the company as a whole has been very refreshing. As I've been out looking for sponsors and so forth, this was they're new, they're up and coming, they're taking the place of some really choppy stuff in the marketplace right now. So it's really nice to have an alternative where we don't feel bad for utilizing them. A pool.
Mana Pool, yes.
We'll have a link. We'll do all the fun doobly-doo things in all of our stuff. But if for whatever reason you don't click on our link and help support us, as long as you go to Mana Pool, it's really cool. They've got a really nice setup.
Super, super good. It's intuitive because unlike other websites that when you try to find, let's say you want to buy a card in foil, right? And you have to sit there and you have to scroll through every individual listing until it says on that website, foil. Sometimes it's on page 15 before you even find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Mana Pool, you can select what variation you want. So you can go ahead and you can just click on it and say, awesome, I've got, I want a foil. And then the only options it will give you for near mint, poor, is the only ones that are available. So you don't have to accidentally sort by, something you're not going to find anyway.
Yeah.
So it only shows you what is actively available, which is awesome.
Yeah. Overall, the user interface is very clean. It's streamlined. They have options to mass sell as well as you can just
You can mass buy too. You can put your entire deck list in.
and that's another thing too. Those of you obviously card shops, this is a great alternative to jump into. But outside of card shops, it looks like even some of the smaller venues, they've got a spot for like indie.
Yeah, they do.
Things to go in and do some card sales and so forth. So that would be, we'll probably actually look into that as the collection grows.
Exactly. Yeah, because we want to eventually, we obviously open up a lot of cards on the channel.
We can't use them all.
We can't use them all, and there's definitely things I'm never going to use. And if we have doubles of things, we might as well, sell them off. And
like removal.
Yeah. Use removal. But we're, yeah. Oh, shut up.
Talking to you too, Chris.
I know. I don't use enough removal.
Removal.
Get out of my face. But no, it's a really intuitive site. It's nice and up and coming. Still relatively new, like Tom said, but it is definitely worth using.
Yeah.
I've been exclusively over the last week just using Mana Pool to look through cards, look through sellers, and it tells you when people are verified sellers too.
Yeah.
So it's not like one of those new sites where you're like, oh, is this just going to be a scam and take all my money? No, there's verified sellers. And when things are verified, that means you're able to do it risk-free.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be ordering a bunch of stuff from Mana Pool soon as well. Go all the way through the process. We're super excited to do it. And they have things on there that I need already.
Yep.
But like we said, because it is still new, not everything is on there. right?
That and another nice part about it being new is if you see something or if there's a question that you've got about it about the application or whatnot, Andrew and his team are really kind of on the ball about stuff like that. We've had some slight questions and they've really just been right on top of it as far as timeliness and getting back to us and being complete in their answers and transparent with everything. So.
Exactly. So what we'll do is we'll put the referral link here. It's going to be manapool.com / reference equals HPP for Hard Part Podcast.
Yeah, we like that. We're going to start running with that a little bit, the HPP.
The HPP.
Yep.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, right? See? Just flows.
Yeah, the HPP. So
almost like somebody should have written a song like that or something.
I know, dude. That flows so well. Man. If only there was an artist out there that made a song.
If only.
Yeah, down with HPP.
We'll
yeah,
have
you
to
know
like
me.
maybe we'll dip into our rap career at some point.
I mean, Post Malone dipped into country and he's doing fine. We can do it.
How come you're the one with pubes on your thing and I
Dude,
should...
it's hair. I don't know where it's coming from.
I'm always worried about like a random beard hair like getting into a thing and then pulling away and then it just like
decapitates your entire chin.
Oh, yeah. No, any shirts with zippers on them. That happens.
Yeah.
It'll just catch, and then I gotta.
I don't have to worry about that. I shave like once a month. Wish I was joking.
That's hilarious.
So this week's Reddit roundup is actually once again from r/EDH. This one is called. It's from r/EDH from u/cause. CAZKAZ.
They get really creative with these names, I suppose.
They do.
Cause.
So, this is from 9 hours ago.
Ooh.
This is
fresh.
Fresh off the press.
Off the press.
It is LGS Commander Experience question. Dude shouting at me. Hey, all. I played Paper Commander for the first time at my local store.
Good job. Way to go.
Very good.
Get out there.
Yeah.
Meet some people.
It was an absolute blast. I finished building my deck literally right before we started. Picked up cards from the shop. So I am definitely new, even though I've been playing other formats for a long time. And supporting his local LGS at the same time.
Very nice.
There we go. Before I came in, I uploaded my deck to Moxfield and removed the high salt cards plus game changers. I don't care as much to win as I do to have a good time and thought this would help.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what Commander's about.
That's the spirit of Commander, really.
I'm playing Terra, Magical Adept, with a focus on sagas. None of the infinite combo cards are in the deck. The issue came about when someone played a 4-mana 8/8 that makes all of your opponents search their decks and put a creature on the field. There's an ant.
You got hair, you got ants, you got all kinds of stuff going on here. You gonna be all right?
I know, right? So, let me see. Yes, I chose Summon Leviathan because I didn't have any creatures that would outright win, like I was sure the more experienced players would be putting down. This bounced everyone's creatures, including the 4-mana 8/8 that started this cycle. I then proceed to copy it once to bounce everything again with Terra.
Okay.
Then the guy across from me was starting to get really upset about picking up all of his demons / Eldrazi. Fuck that guy. So he targeted me. Dude, I've already put
somebody's salty.
I've already put what this is about. So he targeted me with a 12-mana Eldrazi that makes me sack 4 permanents, even though I had just played down Nightmare Shepherd on the turn before, announced and everything. So of course I just copied the saga that I sacrificed and bounced everything again.
Okay.
I have never had a 40-year-old man raise his voice at me, but he kept shouting, "You bounced my stuff 4 times," when I literally never cast the spell myself. It was only through other people's actions this card came into play over and over. Dude was playing game changers, taking extra turns, etc., so I was incredibly confused and just thought he was just being weird / joking at first. Is this normal? I almost clapped back, but I was brand new to the LGS and felt like I had made friends with the other people, so I didn't want to go in on him and come across as a douche to everyone else.
So first off, obviously everybody has a line. You know, you don't want to just, sit there and take all of the shit. But as much as I like the seriousness that we have and the fact that that Magic has grown so much further, at the end of the day, it is a children's card game, okay?
It is marketed as a children's card game.
And if you are going to, throw fisticuffs over a children's card game,
yeah,
I don't know that I can help you.
Here's the biggest thing for me, right? He explains it, and he explained it very well. He's like, I went on Moxfield, removed my game changer stuff. He literally did the work ahead of time to have fun. And his deck pissed off a guy who has infinite combos and game changers. Yeah. That means that guy's deck fucking sucks still.
Dude, Aether Size and Elite Arcanist are not game changers. Neither one of them are game changers. But if you run that combo, you drop an Elite Arcanist and you throw Aether Size on there, and nobody gets to attack or they get to return all their creatures to their hand, that's not fun.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, it sucks to constantly have your stuff bounce to your hand 4 turns in a row.
Does that ever happen to you, Sean?
Sometimes. Maybe once a week.
That's kind of, that's the fun of it. I suppose
I
can't really...
I was mad about it, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? He's playing to his potential, which is the point.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at it, because then I'm fucking hypocritical.
And it does, I suppose it does get frustrating. There's definitely a point where, again, everybody's got that, but at the same time, it's just a game. It's a children's game, and I don't understand. I'm with the poster that I don't understand why somebody would get upset if they're the ones. It seems like they're the ones that's pulling some bullshit. They're attacking with Eldrazi and shit like this.
Yeah, Eldrazi's extra turns, infinite combos, game changers.
Whereas the poster was kind of trying to tone down their stuff. I'm assuming we're talking about Summon Leviathan, saga.
Yes, the
versus the actual Leviathan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but what he's doing is essentially other people are forcing it to lift and then come back down, which restarts the saga, which then destroys permanents and things like that. And that's the name of the game, but in a pod, there's 4 people. That's what's going to happen. Like, there's times where my things will interact thinking it's just going to hurt Tom, and sometimes it'll hurt somebody else at the same time. But that's what happens when cards say all players.
That, and sometimes I think I'm going to hit everybody, and then I get a choice, and then I just hit Sean.
Just hit me, yeah. Just hit me. But no, that's a normal thing. That is Magic. You're not... For me, right, I would have at least addressed it, right? And be like, hey, man, like, this is how it's going to work, right? This is how A, B, and C has worked. My deck is significantly not as good as yours, obviously, because you have all these game changers or things.
Sean has a deep desire for confronting conflict resolution at its earliest convenience.
I do. But here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
The guy is mad about his overpowered deck losing to an underpowered deck.
Again, that's kind of where I just...
Dude, like,
I don't understand why he gets upset, and then even more so, like, that would... I think the original poster is right in not reacting, but I almost don't even feel like he should react.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because again, they're just playing a game, and he did things that are legal within the game.
Yeah,
like that's...
and like you always have to go into this, trying to look at both sides of the coin when you only get one side of the story when somebody like comments, right?
That's true. Wouldn't it be nice if for these Reddits, if we could just like reach into the ether and pull like, excuse me, sir, how do you feel about what this person said about you? It's like, whoa, look at here. Okay.
Yeah, and everybody else is also agreeing with him that he's not in the wrong here. One person said that you're absolutely fine. There are just some people in the hobby who can't handle things not going their way. That encounter is a reflection of him, not you.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. Like, this guy also said, so as an Eldrazi player in EDH, how do you play around this?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
curious. Like, how do you play around getting kneecapped and every time looking like a jackass in a pod? Dude, here's the thing, right? Eldrazi's are strong. They're just naturally strong. And the fact that he's game changers in it too, like,
are not all Eldrazi game changers?
None of them are.
What?
Not a single Eldrazi, I'm pretty sure, is a game changer.
What?
Let me pull up the game changer list, because...
What is it, just like Blood Moon, bunch of blue cards?
Fucking, yeah, dude, every blue card in fucking existence.
White has 2.
Actually, White has a couple.
Oh, really?
White has a lot more than... Yeah, so White
Green has 2.
White has Teferi's Protection.
Okay.
which was just added, by the way.
And see, I still don't.
So I get, yeah.
Protection spells, I don't feel like are game changers.
Yeah, like this has Humility, Smothering Tithe, Sarah's Sanctum, Enlightened Tutor, Draneth Magistrate for white. Enlightened Tutor, yeah, it lets you just look for shit. Anything that lets you tutor for things are really strong.
Right.
Blue's list is gigantic.
Yeah, no, blue is just like,
And they just...
we don't know how to power blue appropriately.
Cyclonic Rift, Consecrated Sphinx, Expropriate, Force of Will, Fierce Guardianship, Gifts Ungiven, Intuition, Jin Gataxias, Core Augur, Mystical Tutor, Narset, Parter of Veils, Rhystic Study, Sway of the Stars, Thassa's Oracle, and Urza, Lord High Artificer. Every blue deck is a game changer deck. And then red has Deflecting Swat, Gamble, Jessica's Will, and Underworld Breach. And that's it.
And how many artifacts do we have in there?
Colorless. Here we go. Oh, Chrome Mox is on here. Okay. Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, Field of the Dead, Glacial Chasm, Grim Monolith, Lion's Eye Diamond, Mana Vault, Mox Diamond, Mishra's Workshop, which is the really expensive one I want, Pantopic Mirror, the One Ring, and the Turnbuckle at Pendrell Vale.
So really, you could just like slam a bunch of islands, a bunch of blue cards, and a bunch of artifacts into a deck, and then just like not ever lose CDH.
Yeah, no, literally none of the Eldrazi are on Game Changer lists.
That's so wild. I mean, again, they're very situational.
They fucking unbanned Coalition Victory and threw it right onto the Game Changer list.
That's
Which is, yeah. Grand Arbiter Augustine.
Sorcery speed win condition is not scary. I'm sorry.
You know what's scary? Ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum is scary. Because when you see an ad nauseum, you know what's coming.
Which, don't
Well, actually, you play ad nauseum after you play before it resolves.
Yeah, Necropence is on here too. Braids also left the ban list and immediately went to Game Changer list.
Again, that one is just such a... I feel like it's really fair card. Like, it doesn't leave you out. You're definitely sacrificing things too. And if you turn one that, and everybody's just working off of like one land for the rest of, until you get down and have to sacrifice it as well. Like,
yeah, because they also removed Trouble in Pairs and Trinosphere too. Both of those were taken out.
See, and Trinosphere is another one that just like, I feel like things that kneecap free stuff should not be a game changer. That should be an equalizer.
Orcish Bowmaster's 100% just needs to stay on there forever.
Yeah.
Needs to stay on there for fucking ever.
If it did not have a mass orcs on it, I think it would work. But the fact that you can just ping stuff and make bodies, it's just nuts.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah, I like the fact that they actually like list out why things are broken.
Mm-hmm.
Mishra's Workshop. Though not highly played due to its difficulty to acquire, a land that taps for 3 mana for artifacts definitely meets some of the restrictions we put around fast mana and belongs on the Game Changer list. Yeah, that makes sense. However, like they mentioned, it's not easy to acquire.
So if you've got the money for it, you can just play it because money trumps power.
Welcome to Standard?
I mean... Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Welcome to... Dude, that is... Especially right now, Standard is so toxic.
Let's see, Mono Red still taking up that 10%. Way to go, Goblins.
Yeah.
Actually, there's probably not any Goblins in that one this round. It's it's probably Mono Red Monks.
The fact that Time Twister is also not on it.
Again, that's a very symmetrical effect.
It's because of the fact that... Yeah, they explain it in here. It's like there's no way to like make it infinite or like, well, there is, but it's not like super easy.
Then it doesn't really do anything.
There's also a lot of cards they're talking about too. Like they go through the whole thing and say the reason why they didn't put Soul Ring. Hold on. There's some discourse around whether Soul Ring should be a game changer and if all decks should be allowed one game changer. While we're not doing system level changes this time, I want to reemphasize what I said about the previous article that Soul Ring is a huge face of Commander, handed down from Sheldon himself, and we are not planning to change or restrict it at this time.
Can we just jump out here real quick and just say that they don't know what the fuck they're doing with game changers, and they're really just like constantly playing an audible?
Game changers are so weird.
It is the criteria for game changers is like so obscure.
Yeah, especially because because Wizards of the Coast now dictates the ban list too, right? So that's why, because you and I had the discussion earlier last week that
It's a conflict of interests.
Yes, because they're the ones creating the sets and they see what's coming out, so they're not going to ban their own shit week one.
Right. That's why Vivi's going to hang out for a while.
Which is why, I am on the side of I actually don't like Wizards controlling the ban list.
No.
Because, yeah, there should still be different people controlling the ban list that aren't, the top modern players in existence. But, they shouldn't control it. It's not up to them. Wizards is creating the sets. They know the power they're putting into it. And if they're just because, for example, right, we kept Vivi.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't we keep?
Who?
The bird guy who basically has the same fucking ability.
Nadu?
Nadu?
No.
I mean, Nadu is fantastic, right? But guess what?
It's the card advantage. It's the built-in card advantage.
Vivi can give you 10,000 mana.
Which you can just sit on
Yeah.
without cards.
But it's one of those things where Vivi, if you look at standard right now, 54% of decks in standard are playing Vivi.
Now, mind you, the guy that I'm getting ready to talk about, I'm pretty sure was banned in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It was, but Omnath, the 4-color one,
Yeah.
that was running, I believe, at an 80% at one point. That is the highest.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where even but if you look at it, he's 50.
Info from Pleasant Kenobi, thank you.
He's 54%, right? Vivi is. The next closest is 15%.
Yeah.
That is a 40% difference.
And what's that?
Which is
the blade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Corey Steelcutter.
Yeah.
But that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That means almost every game you go into in Pro Tour is a mirror match.
I mean, it's gonna be there are gonna be a lot of mirror matches, but at the same time, as a competitor, you know what to beat.
It's just,
and Vivi has almost no protection.
It's one of those things where it's I can't wait to watch the final round, and the top 4 people are just playing the
Vivi
same
versus
fucking
Vivi.
deck. That's what I don't like. There is no variety in that.
No, there's not,
and
but that's why we have rotation, though.
Do you remember what used to happen before Wizards owned the ban list? Things like that would start happening at Pro Tour, and you know what they'd do? They'd fucking ban it mid-fucking tournament, make everybody remake their decks. And it created a way better environment, because then they're all of a sudden we actually have to bring skill now and not just the same deck as each other.
And potentially, a card selection.
Yeah.
It's all right, well, I gotta bring, these are my auxiliary, my extended sideboard.
But that was the good part about it is, emergency bans sucked, but they were needed. That happened. I mean, first of all, Jace the Mind Sculptor, they literally released
dies to removal.
Jace the Mind Sculptor opening weekend, by the way, pre-release night, got opened, was played in that tournament, and the next day Wizards went,
nope.
Oops, we're gonna ban this.
What is that?
It's the oops, sorry, don't dox me. Ooh.
Oh, I thought that was a docking thing.
No, it's the don't senpai, don't ban me.
Senpai.
But yeah, that is the Reddit roundup for this week.
Yeah,
The exciting news with Mana Pool and everything, and
don't let people get upset.
No,
okay,
let
don't let
them
yourself get
fucking
upset about stupid shit like that.
Yeah, look at me. I'm about to, and I'm literally entered in officially to this fucking tournament where there are gonna be sweats. And I am prepared for it because that's the environment I'm walking to. But if you're in a casual setting, playing casual Commander, and some 40-year-old virgin's getting fucking pissy with you, that's his fault.
Well, I mean, that might be part of the problem.
That's probably part of the problem. I wonder what the neck beard on that guy looks like.
Ooh, that's a rough call. What's wrong with neckbeards? I've seen a neckbeard before.
Okay. A neck beard without anything else, just on the neck.
Yeah. I would hang out with somebody with a neck beard before I'd hang out with somebody with a chin strap.
They're like the same thing.
No. Neckbeard is just kind of what grows there, and like nobody trims that in. I suppose if it was somebody who trimmed in a neckbeard, that's a different
So
story.
you're saying if in 9 months when I finally grow facial hair and I just left a neckbeard, nobody would make fun of me and it would be fine?
I didn't say that at all.
Okay. All
I
right,
said
see?
that I would still hang out with you. People are definitely going to make fun of you. I might even help them, but we'll still hang out.
Jesus. So as a reminder, we do have the giveaway. I know we mentioned it earlier on in the episode, but we wanted to bring it up again.
Yeah.
Giveaway.
Tell your friends. Tell your
friends,
family.
man. I mean, send us command towers.
Send us some command towers.
I gave you my list of command towers that I personally want.
We're going to do some shifting here before too long in the temporary studio.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if we start getting some command towers, we're going to put them up
Somewhere while
around
we have
here.
it. Yeah. Because we're going to be moving stuff around and stuff while we're building the studio because we're in this weird in-between.
Transition.
It's really weird. It's like we had all this steam going into it, and then all of a sudden they were like, hey, by the way, Atlanta's coming up. Oh, by the way, we're releasing... But yeah, thank you guys for joining us again this week.
Thank you much.
Sean and Tom from the Hard Part Podcast. Have a great rest of your week.
Have a great week.